is Jordan, and today I'll be recommending you guys my top 15 young adult books. So I've been recommending various book recommendations to you guys, like I recommended like underrated books, contemporary, and books that you like if you like Disney, and I'm going to be doing, and fantasy, which I'll be doing updated book recommendations soon, so stay tuned for that. And today is also my BookTube anniversary, and I've been on BookTube for 2 years now, and it's really mind-blowing, and I still feel like I just started my channel, so it's like 2 years is a long time, and it's really hard to narrow down my top 15 young adult books just because I liked a lot of them, but I was able to manage to narrow down to 15, so let's get started. So these are no particular order, but the first one we recommend, guys, is the Hunger Games series by Susan Collins. I almost forgot the author there, but this is my all-time favorite young adult book of all time. I really love the world. I really like the message behind it, and it really changed my life, and I could not stop talking about it. And a lot of people know I'm a big Hunger Games fan since I've read the series, and it's my all-time favorite, and I could not recommend this enough. The next one I'm recommending, guys, and you probably guys know this is going to be on the list, is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. This became my all-time favorite book duology. I literally read Daughter of a Siren Queen, and I just really love how this is different from any other stories that I've read. There's not a lot of books about pirates, and it makes me want to read more books about pirates, and Alossa's a really awesome character. There's a lot of different themes that goes along with it other than pirates. There's also like sword fighting, and the next book I'm recommending you guys, and you guys probably know this is going to be on the list, is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. This became one of my other all-time favorite book series. I just read Daughter of the Siren Queen not too long ago, and I love the world, I love the characters, especially Alossa, who is bad ASS, and I really like this book a lot, not just because it has pirates in it, but it has a lot, it shows like how adventurous this book can be, and I'm just could not recommend this book to enough, just because this is becoming one of my all-time, this became my all-time favorite young adult book and series. The next one I'm recommending, guys, is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, or the Lunar Chronicles series. I love the series. Each of the books are very unique because it's different retellings of different fairy tales. Like you have Cinder, which is a Cinderella retelling, just from the title. You have Scarlet, which is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, and then you have Crest, which is a retelling of Rapunzel. I almost said Rumpelstiltskin. And then you have Winter, which is a retelling of Snow White, and I love the series so much. It became my all-time favorite series. I just love all the characters, and I love the world, and it's a sci-fi, all the sci-fi stuff in this series, and I just really could not recommend you guys like this series just because this is becoming one of my favorite sci-fi series of all time. The next one I'm recommending to you guys is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I just really love how it's like, if you love video games, you would definitely love this book. It's all like this virtual reality in a dystopian setting, and it's really awesome. And of course I love the movie, and it's really incredible. I know not a lot of people liked it, but I really enjoyed it, and the author is working on a sequel right now, which is really crazy because I really liked how this book ended, but it will be very interesting to read the sequel once it comes out. And I just really love this book, and I just love the characters, and I just really love the atmosphere of the story itself. The next one I'm going to be talking about is By Your Side by Casey West. I love this book. I just read another book of hers, and I'm starting to love both of them, and I want to read more Casey West books, and I love this book so much. I mean, who wouldn't want to be locked up in a library with a cute boy? I mean, I would love to be locked up in a library with my boyfriend, and that's how much I love this book. And I just really love the romance between the two characters, even though they're like didn't know each other at first, but then they got to know each other throughout the books, or the book I should say, and I just really want to read more Casey West books thanks to this book. The next one I'll be talking about is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, and this is one of my other favorite books because I can relate to the main character who has like a bunch of crushes, but she never acted on them, and then her sister tries to push her and tell her to go for it and all that. And I just really love how I can relate to a character because I had a bunch of crushes in high school, and I can very relate to that, and I'm just really, this is a book that I definitely would love to read over and over again just because I love the characters and I just love the story itself, and I just cannot recommend this enough, even though I haven't talked about this enough on my channel. The next book I'll be talking about is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I think this will be the only John Green that I ever read just because I have no interest in reading his other books, but I really love the story of two teenagers who are struggling with cancer and really share more common interests than both having cancer, and they fall in love just because, like, even though life is short, it doesn't mean like you try to accomplish things that really matter to you, like having a bucket list, for example. And I really like how they really help each other even though they struggle with the same thing and develop a friendship and then a relationship, and I just really love that in Fault in Our Stars. And I can relate because I have family that passed away through cancer, and that's really, it just really tugged my heartstrings. But it is like, even though you have cancer, it doesn't mean you should try to spend time with this person before they passed on and all that. And that's what I really love about, I just really love the message behind The Fault in Our Stars, and it really meant a lot to me that it really, that I can relate to it. I'm just, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. The next one I'll be talking about is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Joey Meadows. I really love how they tell a story about Jane Grey, the 90-Day Queen, but also they add twisted like elements to the story, like they have people turn into animals, which is very hilarious. And I read this on audiobook, and I definitely recommend it to the audiobook because I could not stop laughing, and I love the characters, and especially when there's something funny happen, I end up laughing, obviously. And this is becoming one of my favorite historical fictions, even though it has like a fantasy twist to it, and I just really can't recommend this enough. Another book, the next book I'll be talking about is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Mastalco. I literally thought I was not gonna like this book when I first started, just because it's like, I was interested in reading this book, but I just thought I was not gonna enjoy it. But I proved myself wrong, and I really liked Audrey Rose and all the other characters, and I just love how there's like a mystery element to it, because I thought this was a horror novel, but it's more of a historical mystery novel for me, and I did not see a lot of horror as to it other than like they're solving murders that have been occurring. So I definitely really love the book, and I can't wait to continue on with the series just because it's very unique and it's nothing like any other historical fiction book that I ever read. And I also would recommend this if you're looking for books to read in the fall, and I definitely would recommend this for, or if you don't want to wait until the fall, I definitely would recommend this book because it's just the feeling of the story just feels like a folly. I'm not, that's not an actual word, but you know what I mean. I definitely just love this book. The next one I'll be talking about is Romanov by Nadine Brentes. This book literally is becoming one of my favorite books this year. The next book I'll be talking about and recommending to you guys is Romanov by Nadine Brentes. I definitely love the story, not just because it's like you're reading an actual story about Anastasia Romanov, but also it has a magical elements adding to the story, and I really like that. And it's heartbreaking just because of what, if you guys haven't known the historical story about Anastasia Romanoff, but it's like you're getting to know Anastasia herself, as well as feeling sad for her as she and her family are going off through a rough time. And I love the family theme to it. I love Nazia, I think that's how you pronounce her, but I keep saying Anastasia because that's easier for me, and I just really love everything about the story. Not only it's like you're reading an actual historical book about Anastasia Romanoff, but you're also reading a fantasy book as well, because there's that fantasy elements to the story, and I really love it, and I definitely recommend this to anybody pretty much. The next book I'll be talking about and recommending to you guys, and you guys probably know that this is one of my favorites, is Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. I've never read any book that has a villain origin story before, and I definitely love the story. I've read this within 3 days. I just love the story and how it lines up to the original fairy tale, and I just love everything about this book. Not only you're getting to know Eve, who is the Sea Witch, and all the other characters that involved in her life before it leads up to the original fairy tale, and I love that, and I just could not recommend this enough if you're looking for a fairy tale retelling, or the Little Mermaid fairy tale retelling, and a villain's origin story, because there's not a lot out there, and I definitely just could not recommend this enough just because it's one of my favorite fairy tale retellings. The next one that I'll be talking about is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I really love the sisterhood in this story. I also like it involves with the circus, or Caraval, I should say, and I just love the characters. I love the world. I just love really pretty much everything about it, and I haven't even finished the series yet. I still haven't read Finale, which is the final book, but I just love the story, and I definitely would also recommend this on audiobook because it's amazing, and I just love it. And I just love the series, and I definitely would recommend this to a lot of people who are looking for dark fantasy, and it's one of my favorite. I feel it is one of my favorites, obviously, that's what I'm talking about in this video, but I just love everything about this book, especially the sisterhood, like I mentioned earlier. The next book I'll be talking about or recommending to you guys is Divergent by Veronica Roth. I know some people also don't like this series because it's too similar to the Hunger Games, but it is one of my favorites. It is one of my favorite all-time series, even though I did not like the last book, but yeah, I'm from the Chicago suburbs, and I love Chicago, but even though it's I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but I love the world, and I love how it takes place in a future in Chicago, and that's what I love about it. And then reading all these buildings that used to be called in this series, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what that is, and I always get excited whenever they mentioned different landscapes of Chicago. That I just love everything about it, not only because I'm from the Chicago suburbs, but I just love everything about it. I love the characters, and I love how the world is different from other dystopians, even though this came out when all the books are dystopian or just crazy coming out at the time, but I still love Divergent overall. The next one I'll be talking about is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. I love everything about this book. I love how Laura Jean has a close relationships with her sisters, and I love how she loves to bake, and the whole situation about her letters to previous crushes were sent out as it's just a funny, awkward situation for any teens, and I'm like, I used to write notes to crushes all the time, and I could relate it so well, and I just love the romance in this book. Oh my gosh, I just love everything about this book. It's one of my favorite contemporaries of all time, and I could not recommend this enough, and I love the movie, and the movie's getting a sequel, and I can't wait because I have not read P.S. I Still Love You, and I'm just so excited about it, and I could not recommend this book enough. The last book that we recommend to you guys, and the 15th book on this list, is Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. I honestly love everything. I know I've talked about books that I love everything about the books, but I love the sci-fi world of this book. I love the characters and the couples in this book. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm gushing over two different couples, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot help but ship them so much. And I love how it is its sci-fi retelling of Anastasia, which I also like. And this is my favorite Ashley Poston book, and I can't wait to read Soul of Stars because I want it so bad, and I really want to read it. And I just could not recommend this book enough because it's one of my all-time favorites, and I just really could not recommend this enough if you're looking for another sci-fi book. And the world is, I just love everything about this book. So that is all my top 15 young adult books, and I hope you guys it's very helpful to recommend like 15 young adult books. That is a long list, but I was able to manage to recommend all 15 to you guys. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below your top 15 young adult books are. And yeah, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!